Okay, it's your first assignment for Google Sheets up and running. And so to get started, I'm going to put your instructions in this document. You'll also learn a little bit along the way. If you come down here to the bottom left, you'll see a plus sign. I'm going to add a sheet to this spreadsheet, to this workbook, sometimes they're called, adding a sheet. It's called Sheet 3. Sheet 2 was taken because I used it ahead of this recording to create the instructions. I'm going to double click the sheet name and I'm going to call this instructions. And then I'm going to paste in the instructions that I wrote right before recording this video. So here you can see the instructions. What I'd like you to do for your assignment: insert cell references in 6 cells of sheet 1. Format each cell differently. So the 6 cells that you insert references to, please format each one a little differently. Make one left aligned, one right aligned, maybe one's bold or italic, or put a border around it. All these things I'm going to show you how to do in just a moment. And then enter the date into cell A1. So right there I already showed you how to reference a cell. When I say cell references, you're going to use the column letter and then the row number. So let's take a look at that right now. Let's take a look at these cell references. So you're supposed to reference 6 cells. Let's just go with B1. This would be C4, D2, C9. I think you get the idea. I'd like you to do 6 of them. And I believe that I'm going to skip ahead to the third instructional item, which says to insert the date, which for me today is 12/22/2015. And I'm going to hit enter, and that is a date. So we'll take a look at that in probably future videos, but I wanted you to see they can contain different data types in each cell. Alright, now really, if we look at the other instructions, we wanted to format them differently, so in order to do that, we're going to have to look at some of our formatting options. So we have fonts and font size, and bold, italic, strike through, text color, the fill background of the cell, the borders. So let's try some of that now. Let's make this one bold. Let's make this one italics. Let's strike through this one. Let's make that red because it's been struck through. We want to make sure that we emphasize that. C4 is totally cool, so we want to make that one blue because it's cool. And I want to put a border underneath this one. I could put it all around. I could put it just in between the cells. I want it all on the bottom. I can make it dashed or dotted if I wanted to. Change the color of the border. Let's go crazy. Let's make it pink. There it is. So you're seeing a lot of different formatting. It's a barrage of formatting options. But if you're familiar with working with any kind of Office application, these things you should be relatively comfortable with them. If not, take some time to practice. Go crazy. Have a little fun with that. So now that we've looked at the formatting options, we've essentially done your assignment, but I want to go over the other ones that you see here. We've got printing, we've got undo and redo. They usually give you the keyboard shortcuts too. Love keyboard shortcuts, learn them, use them, saves you time. You can format values as currency, so if I put in 1.00 and then I click on it, and now notice it just gets rid of the decimals, but if I hit the $sign, it puts a $sign in and it thinks that it's currency. If I put in the number 1 here, hit enter, come back to it and hit the %, before I click it, come up in your mind with what you expect to happen. Let's see if it's what you expect. Was that what you expected? There you go. We'll have to see maybe why later. We can also see that there's decimal places. What if I don't want decimal places, or what if I want more? You can increase or decrease the number of decimal places on numerical data. You can change the different kind of data also here. Fonts, font size, that's standard stuff. Ooh, we also said left and right align, right? We've got to go back and do that. We can center. We can right align. We can also take text and make it wrap. Let's take a look there. Go back to the instructions and I'll show you. This is cell A1, but it actually extends out of it. I can have it clip, that's what this one, so it just disappears as if it's like slid underneath column B. I can also choose to have it, if I click on the right one, I can have it wrap. So it increases the height of the cell. Or I can go back to this one here, which just has it expand out of the cell if it needs to. So that is a good idea of your menu options here, your toolbar options, excuse me. There are some other functions here we'll go into in other videos. And then you have your standard menu bar here. File is going to be very similar to those that you find in other applications. Edits, your undos, redos, cut, copy, paste, deletes. The view we're not going to touch upon too much. Insert is a good one to learn. We can see that you can insert rows and columns. We'll do that in another video. We've seen the formatting options already. We can sort data, ascending and descending. We can filter data. Tools we're pretty much not going to touch on. So this was a relatively long lesson. Sorry. I still think it's a good basics. If you're new to spreadsheets, this gives you something to get started with, to sink your teeth into. So I look forward to seeing your submissions in the classroom, and I'll see you in the classroom.